Yo, what is going on, everybody? Executives here, coming at you with all of my characters on Elysium. First off, let me show you my Elysium or Light's Hope or Lightbringer character, Eli. I came out with a lot of content for this character, and it was awesome. This character holds so many good memories for me, and yeah, let's log in. So this is the first time I've logged in a very long time, so it will be interesting to see what has changed. Now, I stopped playing on Light's Hope just simply because of the fact that Classic WoW is coming out. With Classic WoW coming out, I really didn't see the point to play on a private server that is going to be shut down. They said it themselves that we are going to shut down once private servers come out. Or once the Classic servers come out. So I'm in Ironforge here. Let's first start off with my character's gear. I won't go on for too long about it, but yeah. So the helm, I've got Helm of Endless Rage with 100 HP enchant, and I log in and people are already recognizing me. I'll say hi to this person I know my friend Suck owns. This guy is pretty cool. I'm trying to record a video, man. Alright, now that I've said hi to everybody, let's continue on to this video. I'll cover the gear and then I'll just hover over all this stuff in my bags. So first off, I've got the Helm of Endless Rage, drops from Veilstraza and BWL. I've got the 100 HP enchant on it because you need a lot of health for PvP. Like, I've got 5.7k health unbuffed, which is very strong in PvP. Next, I've got the neck from Onyxia. It gives me 17 stamina, 1 crit, and 1 dodge. Very good for PvP. Next, I've got Drake Talon Pauldrons, plus the 30 attack power enchant on them as well. These are the best shoulders pretty much in the game for PvP, besides the rank 13 and the Arathi Basin Exalted shoulders, and obviously the AQ stuff and beyond, but we're still in the BWL patch, so let's stick with that. Next, I've got the Zulian Tigerhide Cloak. Now, the reason I run this instead of the Draconic Might Cloak is because it gives me that 1% hit and a little bit more stamina, which is very helpful. Next, I've got Breastplate of Might with 100 HP enchant on it as well. Now, the reason I run Might gear, I've got 5 out of 8 pieces of Might gear in my PvP set, is because of a few reasons. Number one, the 5-piece set bonus is very strong in PvP. It gives you 20% chance to generate an additional rage point whenever damage is dealt to you. Now, you don't think this is very strong, but it is. Basically, every time you take damage, there's a 20% chance that you will receive 1 extra rage. And it's very similar to Unbridled Wrath. So in Fury, you have this talent tree here called Unbridled Wrath. Gives you an X% chance to generate an additional, I think it's 40%, additional rage point when damage is dealt with melee weapons. The same thing, but when damage is dealt to you instead of you dealing damage. Anyways, let me continue on. Braces of Might with 9 stamina enchant. I've got Ash Candy with Crusader enchant on it. Now, it should be a weapon chain, I know. But yeah. Next, I've got Satire's Bow. It's the 1% hit with 7 agility, very good. Now I run a PvP trinket and Hand of Justice generally, so I can get sword specs plus a Hand of Justice procs. Very cool. I've got Master Dragon Slayer's Ring from BWL. Don Julio's band from Alterac Valley. Sabatons of Might plus 7 stamina. I've got Leg Plates of Wrath plus the 7 defense, 10 stamina, and a 15 block value. These are from ZG. The enchant is from ZG. Belt of Might. And then I've got Gauntlets of Might. So I've got 1% hit, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 with the Gloves of Might. So that's why I rub the Might set, because it's got the 1% hit, it's got the good set bonus, and stuff like that. I'll go on to my reputations. Hopefully you guys can't hear that lawnmower outside. Exalted with AV, a bunch of other stuff. Exalted with ZG, skills, engineering, mining 300, first aid 300, riding, axes, bows, cool stuff like that. Honor, I'm rank 5 now, wow, and I was rank 9, really close to rank 10 with 11,000, with 12,000 HKs just about. Next, I'm going to go on to some stuff in my bags. I'll just hover over. I'm not going to give an explanation for every single item, but yeah, I'll just hover over some stuff. Skull Impending Doom, some snowballs, could throw some snowballs at some people. Very fun. Battle standard, you get that for being rank 9. Free action pots. I've got tier 2 gear in here as well. Noggin froggers, just some consumables. Nixia blood, tanking trinket, stuff like that. Diamond flask. Now this is my favorite. It's my RP robes. These robes perfectly match the Drake Talon Pauldrons, the Helma Endless Rage, and the Ash Candy. It's very, very strange how these match so perfectly. But yeah, these robes drop from ZG. They don't offer anything good, but I've gotten some funny clips of me wearing this. It's like wedding, if you guys know who the PvPer is. Just hovering over some more stuff in my inventory, and then I'll cover some sets, some of the sets that I use on my warrior. Like I've got a different set for tanking, PvP, DPS, and stuff like that. So, oops, just hit my mic. Alright, so the first set I will cover, AoE tanking set. Now this is one of my favorite sets actually, because it's got so much reflection. Now what reflection is, especially when you're tanking, is if you get hit by a mob, you will deal damage back to them. It's a very small amount of damage, but still damage nonetheless. So I've got this Blaze Fury Medallion. It drops from the Doomlord Kazak, the world boss. Adds 2 fire damage to your melee attacks. Very cool. I've got the Lionheart Helm for the crit, the 2% crit, which is better threat, and I've got the 2% hit, also for better threat. I'm stacking the Might gear, 5 set Might gear for here as well for more rage to spend. Cloak of Draconic Might, I've got it for the agility for the threat. Ironforge for threat. Drill Bore Disc, it's got a reflection as well as a Thorium Spike on it. And then I've got Essence of Pure Flame, deals 13 damage to the 13 fire damage to the attacker. That's more reflection. The Naggler, 3 arcane damage, that's even more reflection. So the Naggler, Drill Bore Disc, and Razor Gauntlets, they all stack. So all 3 of these do the same thing, which is they reflect 3 arcane damage back to the attacker. But if you see me fighting a huge AoE pack of mobs in like Strathome or something, you'll just see nothing but these small numbers. It's very, very cool. Next I'll go on to my Fury set. Now this is the set when I'm fully world buffed. So I've got Lionheart. I'll just hover over it. I don't need an explanation for each individual item. But the reason why I have a different set for both world buff and non-world buffed is because when I'm world buff, I'm crit capped, so I don't need to run like extra crit. So I've got the Flame Guard Gauntlets and I've got the 2-Strike Shoulders. The 2-Strike Shoulders will benefit me more if I'm world buffed than the Drake Talon Pauldrons will. Then I've got my PvP set. This is what I just covered. 5.7k health, unbuffed. Very, very big. And then I've got my normal tank set. 3 out of 8 tier 2. I think I even have 5 out of 8 tier 2, but I run 3 out of 8 and 5 out of 8. Medallion of Steadfast Might, Iron Foe, the ZG shield, and a bunch of stuff like that. So yeah, that was my character Eli on Light's Hope. I hope you guys enjoyed this character. I'm going to hop over to some of my next characters, and I promise I won't take that long. It's my level 19 Twink Frustrated. Got some cool gear here. Engineering stuff. I went through everything. Got my Talbar Mantle, Tree Bark Jacket. Got my Twisted Enchanter's Staff. Not the most geared. I'm missing some stuff like some minor recombobulators. I think I could have a better cloak, better wrists and stuff. But for the most part, this was my 19 Twink. I had a lot of fun on this character running around. Swiftness pots. I had grenades. I had everything. I'd switch out gear for flag carrying and stuff like that. Now I wanted to hop over some of my bank alts. I've got a lot of bank alts for multiple characters, so I just wanted to show one of them. This was my Warriors alt Eli, so I call it Bank Eli, and it had everything that I needed after I would be done raiding. So I've got a bunch of AQ pots, nature resist pots for AQ. I had Gift of Arthas for tanking, a bunch of old tanking consumables, and then I had I had Greater Eternal Essences, Dream Dust, Large Brills, Righteous Orbs, and then everything that I would need after I raid. And so I have several characters like this, so I'll show my other one. I've got another bank alt here. This is called Bankinator. This stored the majority of all of my farming mats from mining. So anything I'd find from mining or disenchanting or just random stuff I'd find around the world, I'd send to this character. Like 15 defense helm, FR rings, random stuff that I might use later, I sent to this character. It's got a bunch of thorium bars, bunch of dark iron ore, bunch of thorium ore, true silver, rune cloth, and then some leftover stuff from like engineering. And then I'd send the diamonds here, sapphires, I'm trying to think what it's called, the arcane crystals. I'd send everything to this character. Now we're on to one of my last bank alts, DJ Dominator. Now this character would also store all of my raid consumables. So I had extra mighty rage pots, elixir of giants, mongooses, elemental sharpening stones, dense weight stones, savory deviant delight 2, always need those, free action pots, shadow protection, desert dumplings, limited invones, everything that I needed for raiding I would come and put it on this character, and then I'd put the stuff on the taskbar so I know how much I would need. I'd go through about 7 mongoose pots, about 11 mighty rage pots, same thing, not 7 mongoose, more like 4 mongoose, 4 giants, 11 mighty rage pots, like 3 or 4 elemental sharpening stones per raid night, so I had to always have backups. Next we're on to my herbalism bank. Now this basically just holds a bunch of stuff for all my herbalism, and then I would send all the stuff I herbed to this character, and then if I needed to make pots I would just send that from this character to the character I needed to make pots on. Now we move on to Decimus. Of course, if you guys remember from way back when I first started playing Vanilla WoW, this was my first ever max level character, level 60 Undead Warrior. Now this character, like I said before, had been transferred to Anathema by accident, so unfortunately he's stuck on this character, and I really hadn't played him since I quit Zethkur. So I'll just go over. I had all these names. I had Lumber Mill, Intercept, I had Wedding, Decimus, Cato, Fridays, and then yeah, so I'll log into Decimus. This character is very, very, very nostalgic for me because it was a huge learning curve going from Decimus to Eli, because I learned so much on Decimus that restarting again taught me a lot. So for instance, like I wouldn't wear PvP gear into raids, enchants, mats, consumables, stuff that didn't stack, yeah, etc, etc, etc. So I will cover some gear really quick. I'll just go down the list. Lionheart, Mark of Forging, True Strike, and then I had my PvP gear. Dalrens with Show Rush Blade, Rip Hook, and a Justice, and then PvP gear with Defilers. I'm a scout on this character. I got rank 9 on this character as well, with about half the HKs that I did on Eli, and I didn't have any sets. But yeah, I've got some really cool items on this character. I've got so many World PvP items on here: Bear of Peasant Collar, rocket boots. I had a bunch of stuff. I don't know. It doesn't seem like that much, but I could have sworn I had a lot of stuff. Consumables in here, and then other gear. This was my white robe that I'd run on this character, as opposed to the red robe that I'd run. And then this was what I was talking about. I used to run scrolls. I used to run minor elixirs, like this elixir of ogre strength, and then I'd also put elixir of giants on. Same thing for mongoose and elixir of agility, juju flurry, mighty rage pots, bunch of old stuff. I even used this for increased spirit because I wanted health regeneration in raids. Yeah, a lot of old stuff on this character. But yeah, I'm parked outside of I think it's Arathi Highlands, trying to look for the rare Prince Nazjack to try and get title charm on this character. But yeah, Decimus, if you guys remember him, he's still living. I've also got Decimus here. This is my character that I stored for Decimus's bank alt. And it's got all the scrolls. It's got a bunch of like crappy elixirs and stuff, bunch of old engineering stuff. Very interesting to see some of these characters. And my last character here, this was my human level 60 mage. I'm not going to go into too much detail about it, but it had about 4 out of 8 tier 2 and full tier 1 as well. I really didn't enjoy the mage class that much, especially in PvE, because you literally sit there and spam Frostbolt. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to be coming out with another video showing my characters on Retro WoW, showing my characters on my personal private server, and maybe showing my characters on Chronos or like Hellfire or something. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.